Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest aliens and UFOs encounters video. Haven't done one of these videos in a while. I know I have some fans out there that are asking me to do some more of these aliens and UFOs videos. It's definitely coming around soon. I'm going to go ahead and do a playlist of it sometime very soon. So be on the lookout for that. And then, of course, I'll make an announcement video for more suggestions. But in this case, I wanted to talk about this encounter. It's from the reddit.com website. They're from the subreddit called Alien Encounters. And what's fascinating is that it has yet again to do with the phenomenon associated with missing time. You've heard of that, right? When it comes to alien encounters, the idea that it's almost like either some minutes, hours, maybe even days go by and people can't recall exactly what happened. It's a weird but very frightful phenomenon when you think about it, because sometimes that memory gets lost forever and other times it comes back and then it has some frightful stuff. But in this case, it comes from a user called Artemis Prime 18, and they aptly titled theirs as Missing Time. So let's go ahead and let's share their encounter here, and then I'll give my own thoughts and opinions one more time on it afterwards. I'll hear what your thoughts are too. So here's essentially what they stated. My boyfriend and I had planned a camping trip in Canton, Oklahoma for October 27th to the 28th of 2018. We got to our campsite late in the afternoon and started to set up like usual. Unload the truck, set up the tent, set up our chairs around the fire pit ring, and then pile the firewood up. I was really excited for the fire later because we had bought a huge log that had one of those holes through the center and soaked with some sort of long burning solution. We got all of our comfy stuff tossed in the tent. We set up our lights and speaker, hung out around the fire ring listening to music and talking until the sun went down. Then my boyfriend started a fire with the single giant log I was so excited about. As we were sitting in front of the fire, the sun completely down at this point, the speaker started to mess up. It was a weird, loud, glitchy static that happened several times, which I've never heard it do before. We figured that maybe it was because the internet was spotty, or maybe the speaker was too far from the phone it was connected to. So my boyfriend went to check it out on more than one occasion and couldn't figure out what the problem might be because we had okay cell service. It started to creep me out and maybe him as well, but he never said a thing even if it did. To change it up, we decided to just leave it alone and ignore the glitchy static and go open the Fritos and bean dip we brought and then crack some glow sticks at the table. This is where everything ended. I dipped 1 to 2 Fritos in the bean dip, opened a pack of glow sticks, and now sitting across from me at the picnic table, my boyfriend opened up one of the glow stick packs that you make into glasses. He put the connector piece in his nose like it was oxygen tubes. I remember it so clearly. I remember laughing really hard and saying, "Oh my God, get that out of your nose." And the very next thing I remember was waking up in the tent. I was in a sleeping bag, nearly all the way zipped up, and my boyfriend next to me asking if I'd unzip the sleeping bag and share it with him because he was freezing. And then that's when we both sort of snapped out of a sleepy daze and looked at each other so unbelievably confused and honestly really, really scared. So we sat there confused and sort of lost our words. So I said, "What the F happened? Why are we here? How? What the F?" I didn't know what to say or think, and my boyfriend looked just as confused and scared, and he shook his head his confusion, and it was all over his face too, just shock and scared. Then he said, "I don't know. I have no idea what the F happened. I just woke up a few seconds before you. I was just lying here flat on my back, no pillows, blankets, nothing." Which for him is weird because he sleeps with a million pillows. We sat there and talked through what all we had done and what we last remembered. We remember the very exact same moment of him putting that connector in his nose like a breathing tube and then laughing our blank off. I was really freaked out and kind of hesitant to leave the tent. I've never in my life felt so confused. So we laid back down and he wrapped his arms around me and we kept going over what had happened and how it was so weird that it didn't feel like we'd been sleeping on the ground all night. It's pretty typical to wake up from a night in a tent feeling a little achy. So after a while of talking and nothing making sense, I was ready to finally leave the tent, so I start looking around for my jeans and couldn't find them. So I said, what the hell, where are my jeans? This is not unusual for me to sleep in only a t-shirt, but it didn't explain where they were. And all of a sudden, I had a really scary flash of the night that I could clearly remember. I was sitting at the picnic table, he was squatted in front of me, and I was panicked and crying hard and really scared. I was pulling giant stickers/thorn things from my jeans, and in this memory, my boyfriend was trying to calm me down and comfort me and said, "It's okay, babe, you gotta grab them just like this." This very clear memory was like a slap in the face. It had to have been no more than a 15-second memory. So I tried to explain what just came to me to my boyfriend, and he said, "I don't remember that at all. Maybe it was a dream." It made me a little irritated because it was so clear and I knew for sure that it happened. So he said he'd run out the truck to grab my bag with clothes in it. I looked out the tent door flap and saw my shoes side by side. They're all nice, not flung to the side like I normally would do. But when I looked at my shoes, my right shoe's laces were covered in those giant thorn sticker things. So I yelled, "Babe, it did happen. It wasn't a dream." And I said again exactly what he said in my memory, and it came back to him too. He remembered exactly and clearly. When he came back to the tent, he had already looked even more freaked out and said, "Your jeans were folded nicely on your seat in the truck. You really need to come out here." So I got dressed and stepped out to the tent, and the first thing I noticed is everything was left exactly the same as I remembered it on the picnic table. There was a single Frito in the bean dip, the pile of glow sticks I never broke still in place, and the pack my boyfriend opened with the little plastic connector piece he had put in his nose right on the table with the other parts. All of our firewood was burned. We had a lot of wood. It was really silent that morning. We walked to the bathroom, and in doing so, we noticed again that all of the surrounding lawns were beautifully manicured. So where did the stickers come from? What the hell happened? How is this even possible? One thing my boyfriend noticed that was not normal for him was that he had no pain when he woke up. He was 82nd Airborne Infantry paratrooper and wakes up with a leg and back pain daily. So I guess that's the silver lining. Were we abducted? Running from something? Why can't we remember anything? We both believe in alien life but aren't sure if this is what we think it is. Thoughts? I've always been so afraid of the dark, and even more so now, and I will never tent camp again. Neither of us have had any other memories come back to us, and I almost wonder if it's better that way. I'm not looking for answers. I just thought I'd finally share this here. And then that's it. That's everything that the user Artemis Prime 18 gave in their encounter. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that here. First off, isn't that freaky, right? Here you have a situation where it was almost like from a movie. There they were setting everything up for that camp, setting up the tent, wanting to use a fire with that giant log. They were taking out the Fritos with the bean dip. And then it was almost like a cut scene. Like, in other words, they're laughing. They're about to do something with regards to eating that Frito. And the next moment, the scene immediately cuts to them now being in that tent, in that sleeping bag, and so on, almost as if that was a real time, like a real shift in time. It went that quickly for them. When I was imagining this in my head, it is freaky when you think about it. You're just doing something nonchalantly, and the next moment you're in another place. Even though if it's nearby, you're still not in the same place that you were before. And then it slowly dawns on you that you have no recollection of how that came to be. None at all. Then there was that eerie part, almost like from Silent Hill, where you had the radio static. You had the static from the speakers essentially announcing that something could have been on its way. Obviously unseen, obviously unheard as well. Just that static as being its only presence. And the next thing you know, that's when it jumps in that cut time. Freaky stuff. I mean, she's right at the end. Maybe there's a point where you don't want to know what happened between, who knows, as far as that missing time because it can't be all good. If this was something involving an alien abduction, and it most likely could be, with considering the location, the remoteness, it was just them, it was a campsite, nobody else around. Here you have a situation where, wow, if it does come into play later on, if it comes up in their mind, they're going to start freaking out as far as that type of situation. Canton, Oklahoma, by the way, does anyone know, is this prime UFO country out there? Anybody local to that area, Canton, Oklahoma? If so, please post those comments below. I would be hesitant too to go out there. I know we have Randy, who you've seen here on the channel and others, and other videos. We've been trying to do some plans maybe in the future of going out to do UFO hunting, and that's out there in the middle of nowhere, Nevada. And I'm for it, but I'm kind of hesitant because of situations like this. You're out there by yourself, you got nothing, and here you have all of a sudden this UFO. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens there. All right, everybody, thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.